A small Texas community in mourning after a deadly rampage at an elementary school. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Uvalde, Texas. I'll have more on what we know coming up.
A University of Missouri researcher has been using wastewater samples to detect COVID early throughout the Show Me state. I'm Bronte Sorotsky, how this could be used to detect other illnesses down the line.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abby. An investigation now underway into yesterday's mass shooting at a Texas elementary school. We're learning more about what the gunman did prior to the massacre. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard has more.
Mourners continue to bring flowers and remain in shock after such a small town now dealing with the state's deadliest school shooting in history.
It's just that never thought something like this would happen here.
People in Uvalde, Texas are seeking answers following yesterday's massacre at an elementary school. Nearly 24 innocent lives were lost, some as young as 8 years old.
To say the least, Uvalde has been shaken to its core. Families are broken apart. Hearts are forever shattered.
Authorities say the 18-year-old gunman legally purchased 2 AR-style rifles. One was found in the truck the suspect crashed outside the school. The other was found inside the building.
There was no meaningful forewarning of this crime.
Texas Department of Public Safety says once the shooter entered the school, he barricaded himself in a 4th grade classroom. That's when he started shooting the children and teachers inside. One of those victims was 44-year-old Eva Morales, a teacher, her family remembering her as a hero.
She had laughter that was absolutely contagious, and she really treated everyone with so much light and love.
At a press conference today, gubernatorial candidate and former Congressman Beto O'Rourke lashed out at the Texas governor.
This is totally predictable with you.
Sir, you're out of line.
Law enforcement is trying to track down any relatives the suspected gunman may have had as they work to find a motive. In Uvalde, Texas, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Students in India pay tribute to the victims of the mass shooting at a Texas elementary school. A candlelight ceremony was held at the school. Students held cards, as you see right there, saying tribute to students of America as they chanted prayers in remembrance of the children and teachers killed by the teenage gunman. The school principal described the shooting as, quote, a heart-wrenching incident. Well, a lawsuit alleges that a Barton County, Missouri jailer bartered with inmates for sexual favors. In the lawsuit, a woman who was an inmate claims she and others were sexually abused and deprived of rights at the Barton County Jail by Deputy Antonio Azua. The accuser claims during her 3 times as an inmate from 2018 to 2019, she had to barter for more humane conditions or special privileges. Plaintiff also claims she was raped by Azua while she was shackled, and she had to perform a sexual favor in order to drink water out of a sanitary container. Defendants in the case have filed a response denying these allegations. A Delaware County detention officer is arrested accused of smuggling contraband into the county jail. Anthony Cornell faces charges of bribery, official misconduct, and 2 counts of introducing contraband into a penal institution and possession with intent to distribute. Court documents show an investigation was launched after the jail administrator learned about the contraband being smuggled. Recurring flooding problems in the Miami, Oklahoma area have led to tension and legal battles involving the city, property owners, and the Grand River Dam Authority for years. Well, now the city has scheduled a town hall meeting to address some of the issues, including the GRDA's operation of the Pensacola Dam. That meeting is going to be on June 10th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Coleman Theater in Miami. Among those attending are going to be city and community leaders, legal counsel, and experts. The city says the meeting will include updates on some legal disputes and opportunities for public comments and questions. A team of researchers at the University of Missouri has been using wastewater samples throughout the pandemic to gain a better insight of what COVID-19 cases look like throughout the Show Me state. Well, now, as KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky explains, they're using it to see what other illnesses are present in our communities as well.
While researchers can't see into the future, they may have a faster way to see when COVID-19 and other diseases emerge in the area. It may be a little gross, but it also may be the easiest.
Poop doesn't lie, so we can always figure out what's really going on.
Mark Johnson, a professor at the University of Missouri's School of Medicine, has been working on the sewer shed project since May of 2020. The team of wastewater operators throughout Missouri collect samples to send to Johnson's office.
We take this little sample that we extract the RNA from, just like you would in a clinical lab. And we use qPCR, the same kind that, the PCR test that you use to test if you're infected. The only difference is we do it in such a way that we can say not only whether it's present, but how much is present.
It's already helped out local health departments generate a better understanding of diseases present in the community.
I get a report of watershed testing, and it's helpful in the fact that I can kind of anticipate what's coming.
Bergner says he thinks it could be helpful when dealing with other endemic diseases as well.
Any virus can be tested in the sewer shed, so whether it's flu or any other type of virus, avian bird flu, some of those other types that we've seen through the years, yeah, we're starting to get technology where we can kind of see that in the sewer shed, and then we can anticipate and prepare for it. So it is a very helpful tool.
With the way samples are collected, it could paint a clearer picture of what's actually spreading throughout communities.
This isn't the only, readout that health departments get, but it's a good, reliable one that's not affected by your typical factors.
In Newton County, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Samples throughout the state are collected 1 to 2 times a week. A local organization that helps traumatized children, celebrating 25 years of service. The Children's Center of Southwest Missouri hosted a presentation and get-together this morning. The center first opened its Joplin doors back in 1997. Since that time, staff has provided services and care to more than 20,500 physically and sexually abused families.
A bigger problem with child abuse, but I think it's also a better job that we've done of getting education out to our community to know that child abuse is not okay. Used to, child abuse was kind of a taboo subject that nobody wanted to talk about, and I think now more people are willing to talk about that and acknowledge that it's not okay.
Besides Joplin, the Children's Center of Southwest Missouri also serves Monette, Butler, and Nevada. Top executives from Abbott and the head of the FDA faced tough questions today on Capitol Hill as baby formula shortage continues. This hearing coming as thousands of pounds of baby formula enter the U.S. from Europe as part of the Biden administration's Operation Fly Formula. Fox Business reporter Lydia Hugh has more on this story.
Lawmakers grilled the FDA commissioner on Capitol Hill Wednesday as questions mount over the federal government's slow response to the baby formula shortage affecting millions of parents nationwide.
Why did you not inform the public in January, February, or earlier of the problems at the Abbott plant?
We with all due respect, we did. Call was made. There was a public announcement both by Abbott and by the FDA about the problem with the product and the general reason it needed to be recalled.
Representatives from manufacturer Abbott also faced tough questions during the House committee hearing, with many blaming the shortage on the closure of Abbott's Michigan plant in February due to safety concerns.
The current infant formula shortage is heartbreaking. On behalf of everyone at Abbott, I want to express our extraordinary disappointment about the shortage.
The hearing comes as thousands of pounds of baby formula arrived from Germany Wednesday as part of the Biden administration's Operation Fly Formula. Today's shipment will be enough to fill 1 million baby bottles. The FDA has also approved the release of 300,000 cans of specialty baby formula to help kids suffering from severe food allergies.
I think we'll see a return to sort of semi-normal within a matter of a month or so.
Abbott says it will reopen its Michigan plant in early June. Baby formula should begin hitting store shelves about 6 to 8 weeks after their reopening date. In New York, Lydia Hu, Fox Business.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor another four-state hero. Marvin Martin served in the U.S. Army from 1942 to 1945. In Fredonia, Kansas, Martin received a Purple Heart. He was stationed in Italy and also France. We are proud to thank and salute Corporal Marvin Martin. He's tonight's four-state hero. Doug Heddy's next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, Colgan Panthers hitting the road to the state tourney, aiming for their first championship since 2016. Gonna hear from the team in sports.
Well, we had some more showers, some more thunderstorms during the morning hours, and we just keep racking up the rain for the month, for the year too. Over a half an inch during the morning hours. This puts us over 11 inches for the month, which is Kind of crazy. We should not have that much rain. 25 for the year. Departure, meaning how far above normal. About 7¼ inches of rain. Temperatures also kind of chilly. Most of us upper 50s to near 60. For us outside right now, we'll drop back into lower 50s. Currently sitting at 59. Southerly winds at about 10. Humidity, of course, up there at 83%. Not a whole bunch going on behind this band of showers, even thunderstorms we had earlier today. Some sunshine late in the day. We've seen a couple isolated little showers, but besides that, most of us are dry until you check out west. Then you find another big wall of showers, thunderstorms, nothing severe, but this is going to rotate in tonight, especially into our southern counties late tonight after about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Here's the main circulation just to the east of Wichita, so until it passes by and actually moves away from us, we're going to have those rain chances in the forecast for us tonight into tomorrow. Look at the rain starting to increase. So here's 3 o'clock in the morning. We can go through the morning hours, periods of showers, couple thunderstorms, not a big deal. As we go through the afternoon hours, still hit and miss showers and thunderstorms, just kind of scattered about throughout the day. So all day long we have a chance for rain. Here's your day planner. 51 to start, 57 by noon. High temp of 62. Wind switch out of the north during the afternoon. Any rain tapers off, pulls out of here as we go into the evening hours. Then we drop back into the upper 40s tomorrow night. But Friday looks great. Plenty of sunshine. High temp into the mid 70s during the afternoon. All right, additional rainfall tonight into tomorrow. Not a lot. I would say on average, 1/4 of an inch, but some isolated 1/2 inch amounts with that next little batch of rain that's going to push in. Heavier amounts will stay on the Missouri side. 62 tomorrow, 75 Friday. Look at the holiday weekend. We go into the 80s. Mainly dry, isolated storm on Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, upper 80s. Thunderstorm chances will re-enter the forecast by the time we head into about next Wednesday. Severe threat, at least low, next Wednesday into the weekend, and then again as we get into the second week of June. Once we get into the third week of June, severe weather season is pretty much done. Then we just go to those good old summertime pop-up afternoon thunderstorms, but at least we're going to warm up and look pretty good as we head into the weekend. Jordan?
All right, Doug, thank you. For the tens of thousands of Afghan refugees living here in the United States, many of their fears are becoming a reality. Close to 80,000 escaped Taliban rule after the U.S. withdrew from Afghanistan last August. And since then, many are finding it hard to acclimate to their new life in a new country with a new language and culture. Thousands also fear being sent back to Afghanistan as the Taliban imposes new restrictions on women and threatens men with jail time if females don't adhere to the rules. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten reports.
It's been almost a year since the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan sparked a refugee emergency, resulting in more than 76,000 Afghans escaping to America to avoid Taliban persecution, a consequence many feared would be the result of them assisting U.S. forces during the war.
For the lucky, they came with the knapsack. For others, it was just the clothes on their backs.
Now the tens of thousands of Afghan refugees here on U.S. soil are still struggling to adapt.
We feel safe, but we are worried for our family, how they would manage their food. It's hard to get money to Afghanistan.
But many refugees could soon be forced to go back as they face difficulties applying for asylum.
Asylum is backlogged to the tune of well over 400,000 applications that are just sitting there. It's a years-long process, and of course, humanitarian parolees can only reside in the U.S. for up to 2 years. So they are facing a ticking time bomb.
This comes as the humanitarian situation overseas worsens. Protesters recently marching in Afghanistan's capital of Kabul after the Taliban mandated women wear head-to-toe clothing in public and only leave their homes when absolutely necessary.
If such decrees are issued and imposed on women, then women across Afghanistan will be eliminated.
This comes as Taliban leaders also ruled female news anchors must now cover their faces while on the air. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Coming up, Russia directing more intense assaults.
Russian forces intensify their attacks on Ukrainian-held towns in the east. I'm Greg Palcott in Kyiv. That's my story. Coming up.
Ukraine says it's preparing counteroffensives. This after Russia stepped up its assault on defensive lines in the east, encircling several key cities. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has more from Ukraine.
They are the David and Goliath struggle.
Ukrainian forces digging in as the Russian military pounds away at key strategic cities in the east. Round-the-clock shelling is being reported in some areas as Russia shifts its focus to individual cities rather than the entire Donbass region. But the Ukrainians say they're holding on and even planning a counter-offensive thanks to new weapon shipments from the U.S., part of a $40 billion aid package approved by Congress last week.
We're trying to advocate for an Amazon-type style logistics system to make sure that they're not only getting what they need, but they're getting it in time.
The economic battle also heating up. A day after the U.S. cut off Russia from using American banks for debt repayment, the European Union is meeting, hoping to come to a consensus on a total embargo on Russian oil.
We need to find concrete solutions in order to make sure that we protect the economic interests.
And on the diplomatic front, world leaders are scrambling to get Russia to end its blockade of Ukraine's ports, where millions of tons of wheat and other food remain stuck. Global food prices are now skyrocketing, and some say, unless exports resume, we could be looking at a worldwide famine.
Russia is now hoarding its own food exports as a form of blackmail. This is using hunger and grain to wield power.
The UN estimates about 400 million people worldwide depend on food exports from Ukraine. In Kyiv, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Still ahead, paying with a new norm.
Paying with cash or card? So last year. I'm Jackie Ibanez with a look at the growing number of companies embracing cryptocurrency and NFT payment options. That's straight ahead.
Cash and cards are starting to take a back seat to cryptocurrency and NFTs. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez has a look at the businesses capitalizing on the growing trend and incentivizing customers pay with digital money.
NFTs and cryptocurrency continue becoming more prominent in the global marketplace, inspiring a growing number of companies to start accepting digital money for their goods and services, while some offer customers digital assets with their purchases.
Hi, I would like to welcome you to the Nomo Soho.
New York City's Nomo Soho Hotel is launching what it calls the nation's first ever non-fungible token reservation system. Guests can use cryptocurrency to book 3 to 6 night stays at the hotel, where their reservation comes at a special rate. It also includes exclusive NFT artwork and additional perks like late checkout and more.
We have a complimentary breakfast and a welcome amenity that we'll be offering them as well.
Overseas, the trend is also catching on. Luxury fashion brand Philip Plein is now letting customers at its London flagship store pay in cryptocurrency.
People are using it more than you or me maybe think.
Because cryptocurrency's value constantly fluctuates, so does the value of every clothing item and accessory. Customers scan an item's QR code to see its price. Then every 10 minutes, that price resets based on the market and could go up or down, potentially resulting in a better deal than if they were to pay with cash or card. This greater acceptance of NFTs and cryptocurrency is a way for companies to target new clientele, even as the value of crypto has taken some steep hits since November. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
That's why a piece of Hollywood history might not be auctioned off as planned. More on this next. So a judge has blocked the auction of Judy Garland's dress she wore as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. The Catholic University of America wants to put the iconic dress up for bid to fund a new film acting program. It's expected to fetch up to $1 million, but a Wisconsin woman claims the dress actually belongs to the estate of her late uncle. So the judge has delayed the auction until the issue is resolved. Such a piece of history, you know, and whoever does end up with the dress ultimately, good catch. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away. Going to meet a PSU student who's remodeling some history in Pittsburgh.
It's going to be another intense hurricane season for millions of people across the United States. I'm Ian Oliver in New York. We'll take a look at NOAA's Atlantic hurricane forecast straight ahead.
The historic Carver League building in Pittsburgh is getting some much needed renovations, and Pitt State student Zach Burris is serving as construction manager. Burris is School of Construction major. Take a look at it. The building is getting new foundation supports, new walls and a roof, also a new HVAC system.
They trust us because of such a high quality degree that PSU puts out from their construction program, and they know that they're getting quality students and quality work from those students.
The Carver building was an important gathering place for the black community in the 1950s. They would get together there because of segregation. Workers at Joplin, a Joplin brewery, are doing what they can to help Ukrainians affected by the war. Chaos Brewing is using a recipe for a Ukrainian beer and donating proceeds from every draft poured to Ukrainian humanitarian efforts.
There's a brewery in Ukraine that created the recipe. It's kind of a unique story. They released it to the Brewers Association. It's kind of been put out across the whole country. One of our other owners suggested that we jump in and brew it, so we did. We jumped right in.
Chaos Brewing is at 112 South Main Street in Joplin. Well, hurricane season is forecasted to be an active one. Fox Weather's Ian Oliver has more on the government's projections from New York City.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is predicting an above-average hurricane season in the Atlantic for the 7th straight year. The agency says we should expect 6 to 10 hurricanes, with 3 to 6 of them being major hurricanes, meaning they'll be at least a Category 3 storm.
Preparedness is key to the resilience that we need, and now is the time to get ready for the upcoming hurricane season.
The 2021 season was the third most active, with 21 named storms and 7 hurricanes. 4 of those were major hurricanes. Last year, we saw Hurricane Henri, the first hurricane to strike New England in 30 years, and Hurricane Ida, the second most damaging and intense hurricane to make landfall in Louisiana. That storm caused $75 billion in damage and claimed the lives of more than 100 people.
While we're here today to preview an outlook of what trends will shape this year's hurricane season, it's crucial to remember that it only takes one storm to damage your home, neighborhood, and community.
President Biden also reiterated that message, telling residents from the Gulf Coast up to the Northeast to prepare for another tough hurricane season.
My message to all Americans is straightforward. We know hurricanes are coming our way. They grow more extreme every season thus far. While you do everything you can to protect yourself and your families, I promise you, all of us here, are going to do everything we can to protect you.
Hurricane season officially starts on June the 1st and runs through November 30th. In New York, Ian Oliver, Fox Weather.
A bit later, a supermodel testifying in the courtroom.
Johnny Depp and Kate Moss take the stand today in the defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard. I'm Lauren Green. I'll have that story coming up.
Well, we had some more showers, some more thunderstorms during the morning hours, and we just keep racking up the rain for the month, for the year too, over a half an inch during the morning hours. This puts us over 11 inches for the month, which is kind of crazy. We should not have that much rain. 25 for the year, departure meaning how far above normal, about 7¼ inches of rain. Temperatures also kind of chilly. Most of us upper 50s to near 60. For us outside right now, we'll drop back into lower 50s. Currently sitting at 59. Southerly winds at about 10. Humidity, of course, up there at 83%. Not a whole bunch going on behind this band of showers, even thunderstorms we had earlier today. Some sunshine late in the day. We've seen a couple isolated little showers, but besides that, most of us are dry until you check out west. Then you find another big wall of showers. Thunderstorms, nothing severe, but this is going to rotate in tonight, especially into our southern counties late tonight after about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Here's the main circulation just to the east of Wichita, so until it passes by and actually moves away from us, we're going to have those rain chances in the forecast for us tonight into tomorrow. Look at the rain starting to increase. So here's 3 o'clock in the morning. We can go through the morning hours, periods of showers, a couple thunderstorms, not a big deal. As we go through the afternoon hours, still hit and miss showers and thunderstorms, just kind of scattered about throughout the day. So all day long we have a chance for rain. Here's your day planner: 51 to start, 57 by noon. High temp of 62, wind switch out of the north during the afternoon. Any rain tapers off, pulls out of here as we go into the evening hours. Then we drop back into the upper 40s tomorrow night. But Friday looks great, plenty of sunshine, high temp into the mid 70s during the afternoon. All right, additional rainfall tonight into tomorrow. Not a lot, I would say on average, quarter up an inch, but some isolated half-inch amounts with that next little batch of rain that's going to push in. Heavier amounts will stay on the Missouri side. 62 tomorrow, 75 Friday. Look at the holiday weekend. We go into the 80s. Mainly dry, isolated storm on Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, upper 80s. Thunderstorm chances will re-enter the forecast by the time we head into about next Wednesday. Severe threat, at least low, next Wednesday into the weekend, and then again as we get into the second week of June. Once we get into the third week of June, severe weather season is pretty much done. Then we just go to those good old summertime pop-up afternoon thunderstorms, but at least we're going to warm up and look pretty good as we head into the weekend. Jordan?
All right, Doug, thank you. Doug, thank you again. A massive network of cameras is going to be helping firefighters in California this fire season. The cameras keeping a close watch in places where wildfires are most likely to pop up. Fox's Tom Vakar explains how the network works.
CAL FIRE's Sonoma Air Attack Base at Santa Rosa Airport officially opened peak fire season Monday with the local training of ground crews as well as tanker pilots. This third consecutive drought year assures that all CAL FIRE tanker planes, helicopters, and spotter aircraft statewide will be busy well into the fall, if not early winter.
This year, with all the late rain that we had, we do have quite a bumper grass crop, which is not good for fires. And if there's anything out ahead of it, as far as homes or heavier fuels that it can get into, it acts as a kindling and gets those heavier fuels going. One little spark can create quite the conflagration.
The constantly evolving and improving Alert Wildfire camera network is now almost 1,000 cameras strong in California alone. Alert Wildfire looks with unblinking eyes 24/7, 365 on virtually every major vista in the state where wildfires do or could arise.
This is one of the largest networks in the world.
It's a game changer.
Alert Wildfire verifies smoke or fire to technicians instantaneously.
Decisions that usually took a half hour or more to get a battalion out there, an engine to verify, we can now do that in minutes.
Dispatch centers are able to control these cameras. They rotate 360 degrees, they can zoom in and out, and we're able to get better intel quicker on these fires with those cameras.
PG&E alone has already erected 525 of those high-definition cameras in its territory, 600 by year's end.
That'll give us and everybody visibility into 90% of all our high fire threat areas in Central and Northern California.
Though a lot of money is being put into these systems, new aircraft, more personnel, compared to the cost of conflagrations like the Tubbs fire and the Camp Fire, it is literally cheap insurance for California. Tom Vakar, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Coming up in sports, Crowder softball aiming to stay alive in the Junior College National Tournament. Plus, Player of the Year honors for a Nevada High School baseball player. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
The Colgan Panthers hit the road to Great Bend today for the 2A state baseball tournament. Now, Colgan is the 8th seed in the bracket and will face the top-seeded Crest Lancers in the first round tomorrow morning. Now, Crest is undefeated, sitting at 23-0 heading into state. The Panthers, meanwhile, are 10-12. Now, Colgan got off to a bit of a slow start, going winless in their first 6 games this season. But they've played some tough teams in a tough league. Now they've won 6 of their last 8, so feel pretty good about where they are heading to Great Bend.
We're very young. You know, we start 5, 6 sophomores and a freshman sometimes, so we knew we were going to have to, deal with a lot of adversity because we were so young. Our league is very good, but veteran teams, our non-conference are veteran teams, and it takes you a while when you're young to learn how to play against those the older, more experienced kids. We're going to play a very good Colony Crest team, but we face some good teams, and we just have to do what we can do. We're be confident in the skills that we've worked on and the mental approach that we've been dealing with and working on. So I just think overall, we're rising to the occasion at the right time.
Nevada High School senior Case Sanderson has been named the Big 8 West Player of the Year. Sanderson was a first-team all-conference selection at both pitcher and in the outfield. Now, on the mound, Sanderson was a machine, man. He finished the year 5-2 with a 1.02 ERA and 41 innings pitched. He struck out 72 batters in those 41 innings. At the plate, just as dominant. Sanderson hit for a .516 average with 14 doubles and 4 triples. He also drew 23 walks on the year. You can check out the full Big 8 West All-Conference selections in this story on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. The Crowder College softball team is playing in the national tournament in Yuma, Arizona this week. The Rough Riders dropped their first game last night, 6-0 to McLennan. So Crowder faces elimination tonight against Snead State. Unfortunately, they face some more great pitching and fall in a good one, 1-0. Crowder ends the season with a 53-10 overall record. Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern are less than 24 hours away from competing in the Division II Outdoor Track and Field National Championships. And both men's and women's teams from both schools head into the meet nationally ranked. On the men's side, Pitt State is ranked 4th in the country and has 15 athletes qualified for the national championships. Southern is 10th and will have 11 athletes competing this weekend. As for the women, the Gorillas are number 10 in the nation and have 15 qualified. Southern is number 21 and will have 5 in action in Michigan. You can check out a schedule for the national championships in this story on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news.
Johnny Depp's ex-girlfriend, Kate Moss, taking the stand today in his civil trial against Amber Heard. The two dated from 1994 through 1998. Now, recently, there had been some hearsay alleging abuse during their relation. During her testimony, Moss put those rumors to bed. Fox News correspondent Lauren Green has more on this story.
Supermodel Kate Moss taking the stand Wednesday to clear the air in Johnny Depp's defamation trial against ex-wife Amber Heard. Depp's team called Moss to the stand after Heard referenced a rumor that he allegedly pushed the model down a flight of stairs while they were dating. During her virtual testimony, Moss says the Pirates of the Caribbean actor did no such thing.
No, he never pushed me, kicked me, or threw me down any stairs.
Also in question today was Heard's PTSD diagnosis. Clinical psychologist Dr. Shannon Curry rebutting a previous testimony from Dr. Dawn Hughes, alleging the post-traumatic stress disorder checklist used to back up the Aquaman actress diagnosis was not appropriate for a forensic setting and can easily be exploited.
It's inconsistent with the ethics. They don't provide us with the robust information that it would be expected in such a high-stakes setting.
Curry went on to explain.
Even though Ms. Heard had moderately elevated one of the skills that can be associated with trauma, that elevation is better explained by childhood or distant traumatic experiences like the complex trauma Ms. Heard reported.
In a surprise move, Depp took the stand again, alleging he suffered abuse by Amber Heard during their 2015 honeymoon. The defense showing jurors several images of the trip in which Depp appears to have a black eye in multiple pictures. The actor says he never committed any of the abuse alleged by his ex-wife.
I'm living with it for 6 years and waiting to be able to bring the truth out.
Closing arguments are expected Friday in the civil trial. In New York, Lauren Green, Fox News.
All right, time to think about summer and some exciting new movies coming to the theaters. Our summer movie preview coming up. Time for our 2022 summer movie preview, and this season brings franchise returns, original films, animated adventures, and more. All kicking off with a very long-awaited sequel led by an action superstar.
The Memorial Day weekend box office takes off with Top Gun Maverick.
Let me tell you, this film delivers and then some. It has extraordinary aerial sequences. The humor is on point. The music is unforgettable.
The Belchers debut the Bob's Burgers movie.
Even if you aren't a fan of the show and you know nothing about it, it is still such a great animated comedy.
There are a lot of franchises throughout the summer from there, but franchises being taken in new directions.
We have to start with Jurassic World Dominion. This is a culmination of 30 years of Jurassic movies.
Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. Coming, Star Command.
If Andy got a Buzz Lightyear toy back in 1995, that toy was based on Andy's favorite movie. Lightyear is that movie.
In other animated adventures, there's Minions: The Rise of Gru and DC League of Super Pets. Marvel superheroes return in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Thor has to leave the Guardians to go on his own soul-searching adventure. Expect a big, funny, colorful, exciting Marvel movie.
What's a bad miracle?
In originals, there's Jordan Peele's Nope.
He's just had a very different approach to horror that we've really ever seen before, and now he wants to do it for the summer blockbuster.
And Brad Pitt leads Bullet Train, 5 assassins and 1 sought-after briefcase.
One of those big ensemble movies that's action-packed but has a lot of dark humor in it and lots of memorable characters who have crazy nicknames.
Some of many options in a busy summer movie season. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Exciting summer coming up. That's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you tonight with video of a rooftop garden over at Wildcat Glades in Joplin. Pretty cool. Hey, be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.